Hello my country people. Now welcome to Naija News and Gist TV. My people una welcome in case you never subscribe to this channel, make you subscribe all my returning subscribers. I say God go bless una. Alright my people, make we watch this video together. My people this video one about to watch not be small thing Inec chairman and Tinubu they don't enter one chance, so they don't enter wahala. No be small gbegerity na they don't enter. My people, things they occur. Make una watch this video. Make una watch am to the end, my people. Then towards the end, I will come let una know what I think about this video. My people, make we watch.
Why did Inec go to Chatham House, went everywhere to say the IReF will work? And second question, why was the transmission easy for the Senate and House of Reps election, but only the presidential election was not right? So why did you do 2 out of 3? Why was only this presidential election? Yes. And why did INEC tie the IReF, as a secondary body to be able to store information on? Because in the case where you don't see it, and based on what you said, I remember I think there was a dispute in one of the states in the north, and one of the electoral officers was saying, okay, we'll go check the IReF, what was posted on the IReF. So if you can put that out, then why did you put it out there without using it?
Yes, thank you very much, Rufai. Let us make it clear to Nigerians today that it is not as if INEC did not upload. The upload started on the day of the elections. It was just late. The first...
they didn't upload until about
10 p.m. 10 p.m. on that
so
day.
there was no upload. So
upload started about 10 o'clock.
So let's get it right. There was no... Because what they were saying was, as elections were happening, upload ought to be going on, as fully in the but upload didn't start until 10 p.m.
In fact, I've seen a video where the INEC chairman said, they will upload real time.
So why was that not
I also heard other officials say they will upload live.
Yes. But because other uploads were going on live, senatorial was being uploaded live, House of Rep was being uploaded live.
What really happened?
Why president?
Their own explanation has been that they had a glitch.
The technical glitch that did affect the Senate, senatorial, and the House of Rep.
Yes. I'm not here to defend INEC at all. I'm here, like I said before when I started, to educate Nigerians. That even if anyone wants to play a prank on us in that regard, if even anyone, whether it's INEC or whatever party it is, wants to play fast one on Nigerians to say, don't even upload at all. I'm saying that the BVAS alone and the BVAS alone, what it has done in terms of accreditation of voters is already a check on overvoting. That's number one. And the fact that parties have access to the copy of the election results from the polling unit. You see, power now belongs to the people of Nigeria, because the power is now flowing from the polling unit, from those 136,000 polling units across Nigeria. That's where people are deciding the fate of who becomes the next governors of Nigeria. We should take this into our hands. The 93 million people who have been given official PVCs, 87 million people took their PVCs into their hands. Only a few showed up. Of those 7 million people who have PVCs collected, 70 million are youths from age 15 to 40. They should have come out. Who are the people who are managing the polling units? Youths. Who are the people helping those polling officers? They are NYC people. Youths. They have a say. And I'm calling them out now that please, in forthcoming elections, youth should play their role well. They should come out and vote and exercise their rights. But even, like I go back to what I was saying before, if anyone should want to even truncate uploads, the original from EC8A remains invaluable. Indeed, INEC is not to use the IReF uploads for collation by their law and regulation. They should use only the hard copy from EC8A, which they did, so they actually complied with their laws. It took them many days to upload. The law didn't say they should upload real time or put a time limit to it. They still did it eventually. So they also again did what they should do, only that it was late, due to what they said was a glitch. So how do we rate INEC? We should look at that from EC8A, which they used,
with the mutilations and the contritions on the.
If you do that, you know what could happen to you? You'll be in jail because the parties themselves are signatories to those forms, and they are there every step of the way. They are there at the ward, they are there at the local government, they are there at the state, and they are there at the National Pollution Center. You see, that is why Jonathan in 2015 could put a call to President Buhari to say congrats. You know why? Because he knew the results right from the second day of the vote of the poll. So today, the parties know it also.
Mr. Dale, all these things you've been referring to, BVAS, from ECHA, IReF, back Sava, these were issues in the Osun case, both at the level of the tribunal and also at the level of the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal in the Osun case, in the Adeleke case, said that, look, the respondents in this instance, Oyetola and the PDP, that they relied on the back-end server of Inec. And the court ruled that, look, the primary source is what you need, which is the BVAS and the voters register. Are we saying the same thing?
Indeed,
Can we use the Osun case to further illustrate? Maybe it will be easier for people to understand.
You see, I also heard it that, I'm not a technical person, but I know from what I've heard from technical people, the BVAS machine, when it is recording the people who have come to vote, who are being accredited, when it is on a quiet mode, let's say 150 people have come to vote, and by the time the BVAS has recorded 100 people, bless you, Rufai, and it goes into a sleep mode at 100, but 150 eventually were accredited. If you go into the server of Inec to say, print me those people who have voted, you will be printed, given a printout that will show 100 names. By the time you put back on the BVAS to refresh it, the 150 names will come up. And that will now solve the issue of the discrepancy between 100 and 150, because you will see that 150 people actually had their ballots in that box, but the report you got from INEC shows there are 100 people who have been accredited. You now say, that's overvoting by 50. But that is easily resolved again by technology of the same BVAS to resolve it for you. And that is why today we had the decision of court eventually in what happened in Osun State. So really and truly, when you look at how the BVAS works, it has done well. For the presidential elections, it failed us in the second leg of what it should do, which is the upload, because it didn't do it fast enough. But accreditation is still worked very well. And for the second leg of, and again, the upload is not the validation of results, because that is the impression being created out there. The impression Nigerians have is that upload is seen as what validates the election, whereas the purpose of the upload is for information and record keeping of INEC. Information of Nigerians, because when you have voted at the polling booth, you get home or to any location.
Because I now remember the statements in the Adamawa case, there are some local governments and they have, it was the BVAS they referred to.
Yes, it's what they call it by
So
modal.
not still validation.
Fantastic.
In the Adamawa case, it was used for validation.
I agree totally. It can be used. It can be used for validation, it can be used for cross-checking, it can be used for information, but it does not validate, actually. It's not the validation issue. You know why it's not validation? Because INEC does not even use it for collation. It is the original from ECHA that is used, not the one on the IReF. No, not at all.
Okay, I want to bring up other issues so that we go beyond the BVAS. This BVAS, we spent many months on it with Mike Igbine on this same program. But now it's election petition season. INEC says she's going to spend about 3 billion to prosecute election petitions, over 100 already. INEC said it spent over 300 billion on the election. But some lawyers are even saying 3 billion is very small money. And we joke that it's chop time for lawyers, election petition lawyers. Anyway, that's not where I'm going. I'm going to the timelines Election petitions, yes, they are complex, they are contentious, but there are specific timelines under Section 285 of the Constitution. And some people are saying that is a problem because it creates an opportunity for people to be encouraged to rig elections. And that's why we keep hearing everybody say, just win by any means. Once you have won, election petitions are sui generis. It will be difficult to take that certificate of return from you. Yeah. So some people are arguing that, okay, if that is the case, is it possible to do something about that Section 285? So that, you just leave it open. You don't say, as the law says, that you cannot extend beyond the 180 days. What do you think? Some people are also saying, however, the petitions should be determined before inauguration so that the electorate is not presented with a fait accompli. If a man is elected president, he's already been sworn in, he has established his cabinet, he's already running fake meeting, and then the case is going on in court. After the 180 days, you now say, oh, leave the office. That's why people say, don't bother. Election petitions in Nigeria, we have not really worked out the jurisprudence. But what do you think?
I think that we should strive to settle all petitions before inauguration, especially when it concerns the presidency. Because after being sworn in, the person becomes an incumbent. And the power of incumbency can never, ever be underrated. For that reason alone, I will support the Justice Way's report that also suggests something like that we should strive to settle all petitions before inauguration. That should be best practice, not allow it to spill away. Even this one that we have now, you can still appeal and have two more months to determine the appeal on the 180 days. So that is a bit too long.
So you are saying that many of the people who have gone to tribunals, they are at a disadvantage in terms of fair hearing because the law creates that situation.
The law only gives you the upper limit. And we should get to the point in Nigeria where we should do what is right. If I was told to be here for a 10 o'clock program. I got here for 9 because I know that if anything may change, you will also say, look, I'm ready for you now. Or anything else can just happen, I should be here to rest and relax before the program. So if I'm given as adjudicator 180 days, I don't have to wait for 180 days to decide. I can decide in a month. I can decide in 30 days because the issues are going to be quite clear. In writing, the petitioner will state his own case, the respondents will state their own case, and you look at it and decide. Look at the case law, look at the arguments, and they decide. You don't have to wait until the last day. It will be best practice to do what is right within time, not at the extreme. Even the people who are also making their own cases also waited. They are given 21 days or so to file.
Yes, they waited till the last
day. Why should you do that?
No, but that was because they didn't give them the chance to be able to, inspect the materials. And remember how that went. That was also because even to serve the people involved was problematic, that they even had to go get an expertise to be able to serve them. We all know all of that going on. But the question I'd like to ask you is, are we not opening an invitation for violence and anarchy in our electoral process? If with all of these loopholes now, we'll be able to establish the fact that, like politicians say, the best thing for them is to win at all costs. And they know that when they go to tribunal, because it is the burden of proof is on the person taking you to tribunal, it's almost difficult to overturn. So they do everything, including violence, to kill and win at all costs. Is that not subversion of the electoral will of the people? Yeah. So are we not setting a bad precedence? Because if that's the case, some people will argue that not anybody has a monopoly of violence. Is that the society where we ought to be building, or we ought to be building a society of transparency?
Okay, you see, let me just address that question by saying that the laws themselves do not guarantee compliance. The human beings themselves are the ones who do that. The United Kingdom has what we call an unwritten constitution, but it's still being followed by people that are called honorable people. Now you can have 1 million laws, you can have tons and tons of electoral laws. If you're not willing to follow it, if you're always thinking of how to subvert it, you'll actually succeed because that's your intention, even from day one. So from the drafters to the people who are going to implement it, they are thinking of how to circumvent it. So we must all address the individual in Nigeria. Do I want good for my country? Am I willing to be that good Nigerian who want to make things work? Without that, nothing will work. So, what we have today is actually great law. The electoral law today is great. The BVAS is great. The IReF is great. The fact that parties have photocopies from the polling units and they can scan it with their phone to their own situation room is great. By that same evening, by midnight that day, you have the result in your hands. If you have able people working for you, so it works.
Some people say that if you are not forced under duress to even sign the sheet in the first place.
Again, how many can you do? Out of 176,000 polling units in Nigeria, you can do that. You can do that. You can win. Then you'll be caught. If people will tape you, people will record you. It will be seen, and we saw many of them today. In Rivers State, Mr. Peter came to the station to showcase such nonsense that people put on IReF. It will be seen that, you see, many people don't know yet this BVAS and the IReF how they work. I give it 2 more election rounds. All that will stop because they will know that it is futile. If you do it, you will be found out.
So people are getting away with it.
They can't get away with it.
Okay.
Well, it's not everybody that believes that everything is great about our electoral process. Since it's now put that in this election, there has been substantial compliance. 2, the presumption of regularity is structured in favor of the Electoral Commission, Inec. This same Inec that people are protesting and condemning and saying that Inec dropped the ball. Will you say that that is fair in determining election petitions? And 3, the burden of proof. Some people are saying, look, the burden of proof on the petitioner is too heavy. Why not ask Inec to come and prove that he's able to do well? So there are persons who have raised such questions. So to that extent, will you say that everything is great with the process?
Thank you very much. I want to reiterate the fact that we should look at the individual. When I say great, I'm not meaning to pander to anybody, INEC or whoever, but to say that the regulation, I'm a lawyer and I'm talking about the regulation actually. The regulation and the law itself is what I'm saying, I'm extolling as well thought out, as great. But the operators, INEC and other players, may not be that great or honorable. That again, I cannot say. And about whether INEC has complied substantially remains in the hands of the tribunals to decide for us. It will be sub judice for me to come on here and be saying that INEC complied substantially. And for INEC, I want to support. I want to draw from what Elena Senior has said right before now, that we may also begin to see INEC as coming forward to just give evidence and not be made a party. That also has its own difficulty, because even if you're not a party, everybody wants to appear as clean as possible. You want to show that you've done a good job of what you had. INEC itself can be unbundled. What do I mean by that? I mean, they do everything now, from logistics, moving people around Nigeria as a whole, printing of the ballot. All that can be broken to other bodies and let INEC do the oversight of the election itself.
Okay, and not waste reports.
Yeah. These are the things I've done from that as well. So these are the things I think we should look at now to make things better for us.
Okay, I think let's drop it there. Thank you so much.